Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 tracks in Superbike 22. So with there being 12 tracks in this game, there's actually only 2 that's going to miss out. Let's count them down. So starting up at number 10, it's the Australian round, it is Phillip Island. Sort of a tough one for me, this one, because I've fallen out of love somewhat of Phillip Island, so it would have been higher up on the list probably any other time, but I don't know what it is, but recently I'm just not really feeling Phillip Island. It's still a fantastic track and I absolutely adore Turn 10, but for something about it now, I don't know what it is, but it's just not resonating with me at the moment, so it does sit at number 10 on my particular list. Now of course I'm not saying Phillip Island's a bad track, there is only 12 tracks to choose from and not one of them is a bad track, to be honest with you, but Phillip Island was worthy enough of 10th on my list. There's fast corners, there's flowing corners, there's good braking zones, and then there's some buggers of a braking zone as well. For some reason, Turn 1 always seems to catch me off guard. I can't really seem to get it right, or at least when I do get it right, it still doesn't feel like I've really nailed it. But coming into Lukey Heights here, a bit of a bumble on the rumble strip there, but going into Lukey Heights and then into Turn 10 is a very, very satisfying combination. This combination of corners alone is enough to get it into top 10. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. So, starting this list off at number 10, Phillip Island. But now on to number 9, and that is the French circuit of the Magny Cours. And I quite like this circuit, I will be honest, so definitely deserves top 10 on the list. A couple of corners don't really suit my style. There's a lot of long, winding corners, and then of course the hard braking zone into Adelaide, which I do very much enjoy. But just certain parts of this track and the horrible, horrible autopilot in this game doesn't get me to put Magny Cours any higher. But some of the corner names in this one are fantastic. They took inspiration from different tracks and tried to amalgamate it into one French circuit, and I think there are some really memorable moments, especially the extremely hard and tough braking zone of Turn 5 for Adelaide, the corner we've just exited a moment ago, into Nürburgring corner here for this wonderful chicane. Easy to make a mistake there, but it is a very nice corner to get right when you get it right. And then going into the 180, good corner, very much enjoy this one. The next one going into Imola, into Turn 12, into Turn 13, and then for the right hand side, and then for the final bits in the final chicane. Magny Cours is a great track, there's not much else for me to say. Wonderful circuit, looks fantastic in the game, do very much enjoy it, certainly deserves 9th on my particular list. So now on to number 8, it is the fresh breed of track, the Juan Villicum round, the part of Argentina which I've never played in a video game before, but I must say, quite enjoy this circuit. It was one of those ones where I looked at it originally and thought, what the hell is that? I don't like the back straight, and I think because of that massive straight, that is the reason why this is no longer higher than it is. Fun fact, I actually did record this video already and then decided to change my mind, and Juan Villicum was one of the tracks I decided to push backwards. Love a couple of corners, there's some really nice chicanes, I like the idea of braking hard on an angle, but this long straight, I don't care for long straights like this long. I've never been a fan. It's rather straight and there's not much to look at, it's also very flat, but the redeeming feature is this combination of corners. It's an interesting one, it's somewhat unorthodox, let's say, but I like it, and it definitely deserves 8 on the list. I did toy with moving it up and down, but I'm quite happy, but I'm still thinking maybe I should have put Magny Cours over this one. I don't know, but guys, let me know what your top 10 would be by the end of this video, because I'm very keen to see how you guys would number each track and what position each one would make. And of course, if you agree or disagree with my list, be sure to let me know in the comments at the end of the video. So now time for number 7 on the list, and that is Mandalika Circuit, another one that I've really toyed with putting further or a little bit backwards. I do very much enjoy the circuit. The track looks very weird when you look at it in the graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, but I love this circuit. It has everything for me. Really long turns in the sense of preparing yourself for a long turn, turning in quick, high-speed corners, and then very firm braking zones. The final part does kind of annoy me. I never seem to get it right, and I don't particularly like the idea of it. But this change of direction here from 7 into Turn 8 and then down onto the straight, kind of a straight into Turn 9, and then braking firm for the right-hander here into Turn 10. Brilliant. I don't know what it is about Turn 10 in tracks, but Turn 10 is always a tough one. It's a hard braking zone, and this one is no different. So I very much enjoy Mandalika. Definitely definitely deserves top 7 on the list. Could definitely think about moving it higher, but for now, I'm content with the decision I've made to leave it at number 7. So now for number 6, we do come to Montmello here in the circuit to Barcelona. Of course, Catalunya. A iconic track in pretty much every bike game you can play almost, apart from Ride 4, and I've got to say, probably would have put this higher up on the list. I do very much enjoy Catalunya. There's great history behind this track, and of course, braking zones like La Caixa into turn 10, turn 1. Great braking markers, especially even going into turn 4 here. I very much enjoy getting this corner right. It sets you up nicely for turn 5. If you watched my live stream a couple of days ago, you would notice I love to push the rear into turn 5 and really slide the bike in it. I love that combination. The same can be said for the TV3 corner coming up very, very soon. But Catalunya has a small snag, which is not the track's fault. It is playing online. This track gets picked so often that I'm a little bit bored of it now. And the problem is that it will continue to be picked because there is only 12 tracks in Superbike 22. It is a great track. I do enjoy playing it, but I'm just playing it a little bit too much recently, so it has dropped from maybe in the top 4 or 5, maybe top 3, but it has now dropped down to 6th place. But any track on this list, or even that didn't make the list, are all excellent tracks. There isn't a single track I could say I dislike in Superbike 22. So Catalunya, more than happy with putting the Spanish circuit in 6th position. So now we move across to the Czech Republic. It is now number 5, and it is time for Most. Now Most is a brand new circuit for me. I have never played or seen this track before unless watching Superbike. But in a video game, this is the first time I'm ever experiencing this track, and I absolutely love it. But my question to you guys is, has Most been in a bike computer game before? Keen to find out. Let me know what the answer is, please. But Most, brilliant track. Absolutely brilliant. One of those ones that I was a bit tentative at first because watching them on the TV, Superbike guys, Jonathan Ray, Top Rack, you name them, look brilliant. Look absolutely brilliant to watch. And of course, the racing in the game, very good. Brilliant combinations of corners. Difficult track, don't get me wrong. I'm not the fastest here, and I certainly probably won't be. But I do very much enjoy the circuit. Good amount of straights, not too long. The long straight kind of is quite long, but it's not too bad. And the corners, etc., brilliant. I love the way the bikes really have to be thrown to the left, to the right, move it in again, braking on an angle. Great track. Not much else I can say about Most. I think it's fantastic. Definitely deserves top 5. So now on to the toughest one for me. I've put Donington Park at 4th place. Now I know what you're thinking. DrAce, are you mad? You love Donington Park, and you're absolutely right. I adore Donington Park. And Donington Park was the first track I went to this year for a World Superbike round. And now it's off of the podium? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What the hell? And basically I'll explain why. Thus being, I really struggle on this circuit in Superbike 22. The AI on the hardest difficulty are unbelievably quick. Ridiculous to beat, trying to be quite honest with you. I had a torrid time here in career mode and I fell out of love with this circuit very quickly. I still love the track, I really do. Play it on Ride 4 or MotoGP and I'd be having a whale of a time. But for some reason here in Superbike 22, and taking that into account that the Superbikes are here in Donington Park, I'm not enjoying it as much as the next 3 on the list. I have difficulties with the foggy S's, and I really don't feel confident within Superbike 22 entering the Melbourne Loop or Goddard's, and those are 2 critical parts of the track, which I just don't feel any confidence going into those 2 corners. The rest of the corners, the rest of the track, brilliant. These 2, no, sadly not. So unfortunately, turn 11 and turn 10 have kind of put me off Donington Park for now. Still love the track, but sadly, it finishes off of the podium. Sorry, Donington Park. So now on to our first podium track. It is Estoril, the track of Portugal, of course. A brilliant circuit. I love this track, honestly. Excellent corners. The long straight is a long straight, so unfortunately it doesn't beat the next 2 tracks on the list, but I love this track. There's some brilliant braking zones, some gentle braking zones, otherwise you end up losing the front, some really firm braking zones that you've got to make sure you really get right, good acceleration points and very fast flowing corners depending which corner it may be, especially going into turn 5 here, that change of direction, leaving it in 5th gear, waiting for the bike to scream it out and then go firm on the brakes for turn 6 into the Parabolica. Very much enjoy Estoril. I think it's one of the best tracks in Superbike 22, and in fact, one of the best tracks in MotoGP as well. It's just a shame I don't tend to use it that much, because of course it's not in the traditional calendar. But I would rather have Estoril than Portimao any day of the week, and I guess that confirms that Portimao is not on this list. Spoiler alert, I'm afraid. But yes, brilliant, brilliant track. This chicane here is enough to put it on anyone's list. It's absolutely awesome. And it's not too difficult to tackle either. Not really found to be having too much difficulty there, so absolutely deserves 3rd place on my particular list. So now we move across to Misano, number 2 on the list. Now I know what you're thinking, is this because you won all those races in career mode a few days ago? Probably. But no, I absolutely love this track anyway. It was on my list in MotoGP, and it should be for anyone's list. The fast nature of this circuit, for goodness sake, Cavone in itself is extremely iconic, and that is enough to put it on anyone's list, to be quite honest with you. Cavone itself deserves 2nd place, and maybe we'll do a corner top 10 at some point, but for now, Misano well deserves top 2 in my list. I think it's fantastic. Love this circuit. I feel great at this track as well. Really, really confident with the bikes, confident with the track. I know it extremely well, like the back of my hand. Very much enjoy this track, I really, really do, and if you like fast, flowing tracks, I can't think of one better than Misano, to be quite honest with you. It is a stunner of a track, it really is. So if you can find a more fast and flowing track, I guess it would deserve top spot on this particular list. But wait, we've got one more track. It is fast. It is flowing. It's Assen. I absolutely adore the Dutch circuit of Assen. The fastest, most flowing, most beautiful iconic track in Superbike 22. I've got nothing but absolute goodness to speak about the Dutch TT. I can't even put it to words. Love this circuit. There will never, ever be a time where I will tell you otherwise about Assen. Brilliant track. Yes, it's a difficult circuit for beginners. Yes, it's extremely technical as well, but no other track in Superbike 22 offers more of a rewarding experience than the Dutch TT of Assen. From going into Harbach into turn 1, from Ossenbroken into Struben for turn 5, going all the way up into the Wienschlang, into Steckenval, keep on going. The corners are tough, but they're somewhat easy to understand. They're not too crazy to the point where you got to really think, and how the hell do I need to tackle this corner? I just get a good understanding with this circuit, and it absolutely deserves top spot on my list. The fast flowing section towards the end of the lap, you know you've done extremely well for the first 2 sectors, but you've got to get it right for these last 3. Difficult corners, even difficult corner names to pronounce, but going into the final part, from the Hoghide into turn 14, into turn 15 for the Ramshock, and you finish up with the most beautiful ending of any race, and that is this gorgeous Geert-Timmer chicane. And what a better way to finish a video than the Geert-Timmer chicane. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. Be sure to tell me your top 10 as well, and I will see you in the next video. So like, comment and subscribe, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.